Good morning, Minnesotans, and welcome to the DFL Daily. It is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Bobby, I agree with you. It is a beautiful day today. Welcome to the DFL Daily. I am Jim Hyington, Executive Director of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party, filling in for Chair Carl Baum, who is actually on the road right now driving up to Farmfest. We'll chat more about that in a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and get you plugged in. Here's what's happening on the ground this week in Minnesota. Tonight, if you are in the North Metro, you know what you should do? Swing by the Neighborhood Ice Cream Social at 5:30 p.m. at Central Park in Ramsey. This is going to be a great low-key way to meet your neighbors and talk about what is on the ballot and who is on the ballot this fall. Tomorrow, Wednesday, head out to Wilmore for Candiota County Fair. Starts around 10 a.m. If you're in West Central Minnesota, come out and find your folks who will be out there. Then on Friday, it is the Senate District 19 Corn Feed and Working Families Picnic down in Faribault. That'll be at 5 p.m. at South Alexander Park. Good food, good company, good vibes, and a great chance to connect with your team from Senate District 19. Saturday is going to be a big one. We have two great options. If you are up north, it's Meet the DFL at Reamer Harvest Days, kicking off at 9 a.m. in Reamer. And down in the East Metro, it is the Newport Pioneer Day celebration at Lions Park, and that is starting at 10 a.m. However you can show up, whether you've got 5 minutes, whether you've got the whole afternoon or the whole weekend, it matters. It really honestly matters. Showing up matters. You can find all of these events and more at dfl.org/events. Get out and, hey, bring someone new with you. All right, let's get into this week's message. Today, we are going to be talking about what Farmfest is and why it matters. Because Farmfest starts today in Redwood County, and it is the largest outdoor farm show in the entire upper Midwest. There's going to be hundreds of exhibitors, from agribusiness to equipment to ag lenders and commodity groups. All of them are going to descend and be there. Also, farmers, co-op leaders, county commissioners, they plan their whole summer around this week. Farmfest has hosted our candidate forums in every election year going all the way back to 1990. That is 36 years of tradition leading up to this year's 2026 candidate forums. And the idea is simple. Why don't we give voters a nonpartisan, side-by-side look at the people that are asking to represent them, focus specifically on agriculture and rural issues? This is the stuff that actually shows up in farmers' bottom lines: commodity prices, tariffs, diesel prices, healthcare access in rural counties, farm credit, and everything else that we talk about. You heard it here yesterday. Minnesota farmers, small businesses, and families are all losing money because of the Republican tariffs. Just in the past year, Minnesota farmers and exporters lost $3.4 billion from Trump's tariffs, and they're taking away $2,000 per year from Minnesota families right now. So here's why these forums matter to us at the DFL. This is one of the last truly bipartisan institutions left in American politics, where Republicans and Democrats share a stage. They take the same questions in front of a live audience right here in our community. For our DFL candidates, this is a chance to speak directly to a room full of rural Minnesotans who've come from all corners of the state, and the people of Redwood County who invited them to their own home turf. Our DFLers are going to share how they are fighting to lower costs, how they're fighting to create more opportunities for Minnesota farmers and small businesses, and help all families get ahead. So let's get into that Farmfest schedule and how you can also dial in, whether you'll be there in person or joining online. There are two forums covering congressional districts today. In the first district, our DFL endorsed candidate, Jake Johnson, you know it, a longtime Rochester math teacher, is taking on the Republican incumbent, Brad Finstad, the guy who literally voted for the tariffs that are losing Minnesotans money. Recent polling has this race just within a few points. Guys, we're within striking distance there. And Jake has been outraising Finstad. Last week, we announced on this call that Jake's race has been named one of the most competitive races in the country, and it's been added to the DCCC's Red to Blue program. This is super, super exciting stuff, guys. This is the same stuff that happened the last time we flipped that district from red to blue, and it's happening right now because of the great candidate like Jake Johnson and the great team on the ground supporting that work. In the second district, you're going to see DFL endorsed Matt Little, who won our endorsement back in May. Matt Little was born and raised in Lakeville and went on to become the mayor. And he fights every single day for seniors and those with disabilities. And Farmfest provides exactly the kind of stage that he's going to thrive on, talking directly to Minnesotans about the issues that they care about. This forum is beginning right now, so I recommend joining the live stream as soon as this call is over. And we're going to put that link in the chat. Later on today at 1:15 p.m., it is the forum for the 6th, 7th, and 8th congressional districts. In the 6th district, we have Doug Chapin, the DFL-endorsed challenger to GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Doug's an election law attorney out of Hanover, and the DFLers are seriously optimistic up there about finally putting this district in play after more than 2 decades of Republican control. In the 7th district, Eric Osberg, our DFL-endorsed candidate, is taking on Michelle Fischbach. Eric has spent 9 years doing economic development work in Otter Tail County, and he knows this district's economy inside and out. And in the 8th district, Trina Swanson, our DFL-endorsed candidate, is challenging Pete Stauber. I kind of like that weird voice. I'm going to keep doing it. Trina spent nearly 2 decades in the federal service before she walked away, rather than carrying out directives that she felt were unethical. And that's the kind of integrity story that really resonates up in the Arrowhead. Tomorrow at Farmfest is going to be a big one, and we'll be there covering it live. At 10:30 a.m., there's the Governor Forum. This is Senator Amy Klobuchar, our DFL-endorsed candidate for governor, on stage with her Republican rivals. Senator Klobuchar has spent her career building relationships in rural Minnesota, and this stage is exactly where that experience and those relationships pay off. Mike Lindell and the others have no idea what's coming for them on that stage, and I'm super excited to see it. Then at 1:15 p.m., we will cap it all off with the U.S. Senate Forum. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who won the DFL endorsement in May, will head into this one facing both Michelle Tafoya and Royce White. The GOP endorsed candidate for Senate, Adam Schwartzy, was actually not invited because he isn't polling high enough. He's polling under the 15% threshold that you need to make it onto that stage. Ouch, that's embarrassing. Peggy Flanagan brings real credibility on ag and rural issues from her statewide work as our lieutenant governor. All right, that's Farmfest. So here are our actions for today. These forums are live streamed if you can't make it in person. Don't worry, you don't have to drive to Redwood County to watch. Head to farmfest.com, find the live stream forums page, and put Tuesday and Wednesday on your calendar. We're actually going to put a link in the chat so you can click on that if that's easier for you as well. Then, once you've tuned in, make a note of the most important thing that you heard. Honestly, make a note of it and then share it with us. Put it in the chat on Thursday's call. We are going to open that call by reading your comments live on the call. Finally, and this one's a fun one, make sure to join dfl.org/amplify. This is where you can join our digital volunteer army today. We'll be sharing instructions on how to lift up our candidates' Farmfest content online with positive engagement and counter the right-wing trolls and bots that we expect are going to be making a little bit of noise in the comments like they always do. All right. That's it, folks. This week's message memo. You have the message, you have the action, and the tools to be empowered today. Hope you have a great day. Join us back here tomorrow at 10:45 a.m. Our senior director, Asha Carroll, will be hosting, and Richard is going to be calling in live from Farmfest. All right, everyone, we have just 91 days until the November 3rd election. Let's go win this thing.